Good Monday morning. It is Monday, June the 23rd. Welcome to my Power Play of the Week live. Yes, we are live, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. You can figure out whatever time it is, wherever you're watching. It's about the mindset, the routines, the tools that create consistently exceptional results with the action steps that you can immediately apply. This is not theory. This is not pie in the sky. I work with people that have a bias for action and want to commit to bringing their execution game and focusing on the right things at the right time to the next level, all in about 10 minutes. Yeah, I know. What better way to start your week? So, as always, if you're here live or you're watching the recording, please drop your name in the chat and where you're actually viewing or listening from. It's always nice to know that it's just not me talking to the camera, because I can do that. Well, I actually do that quite a bit if you watch my videos on LinkedIn. So if it's your first time or your 185th time, welcome. Thank you for making the decision to start your week with me. I really do appreciate that. Number one question I get is, who is Sean and what does he do? I think everybody should have a very, very quick sentence on that. I work with family-owned business owners that have had a tremendous amount of success long before meeting me, want to get to the next level without working 24/7. It's actually a process of doing less and not more. If you haven't already, go to SeanShepard.com and sign up for the Power Play of the Week. Every Tuesday morning, the best tips, exercises, questions that you could do at your leadership team this week are there free of charge. You're welcome. The podcast, Stop Stepping and Stupid, is for family-owned leaders, family-owned business leaders. And that moment that we stepped in stupid, because we all do, but it's what we do after. The latest episode with Charlie Durham from beautiful Texas came out last week. And if you haven't listened to it all, like, what are you waiting for? So please do that. And the book, I'm going to talk more about it next week. Stop Stepping in Stupid, the No BS Guide to Growing Your Business, is now out on Amazon. But I'll be talking more about that next week. So let's see. Hey, good morning, Nerdan from beautiful London, Ontario, home of the Memorial Cup champion London Knights. Thanks for being here. Hey, Craig. Hey, Mark from Haverhill. Hey, Jer from here in Toronto. Jillian Burns from beautiful Boston. Congrats on another great event in Grand Rapids last week. Awesome. All right. Let's get into it. Today's theme: make your future bigger than your past, and the power breakthrough questions. I've always said that the answers we get in life are only as good as the questions that we ask. Ask better questions. Ask better questions. Making your future bigger than your past. We all know people, and hey, me too. We talk about all these old stories or high school and so on. And sometimes when that's all we talk about, we've run out of our future. As Dan Sullivan said, we've run out of future. Let's start talking about where we want to go, what we want to do, what we want our life to look like. One of my favorite quotes from Peter Drucker is, the best way to predict the future is to create it. The best way to predict the future is to create it. There's power in getting clear on what you want in every single area of your life and fully committing to it. No excuses. Be 100% accountable. We are 100% accountable for our life. And I'll say this, that I hear it all the time, just in daily interactions or when we go out to a restaurant. There's a lot of excuse-itis. Like, people blame every excuse in the book. Well, those are not the people that I work with, right? So you have the opportunity to create what you want, go for it, commit, and be 100% accountable. So I do VIP days with my clients. So when I start working with them, they get a full day. They come up here to Toronto and we just work on them. And the clients absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I'm going to put together a day in August, which will be a VIP day, but a group VIP day. If you're interested, it's invite only. Send me a DM and I'll give you some of the deets around that. But the VIP day with clients is in 3 sections. Part one is celebrating your past. I think a lot of us don't take time in celebrating our accomplishments and what we've done. So that's the first part of the day. And usually by our coffee break in the morning, you could see them like, oh my God, like, because they actually celebrated the past. So part one is celebrating the past. Part two, which is probably half of the day, is creating the future that you want, making your future bigger than your past. Most people don't do this. Most people avoid this. That's part two. And then part three, before we end the day, is now what do? We talk about the present. So we're going to do like a mini version of this morning, because we live into the stories that we tell ourselves. Quite simply, just tell better stories and work in the future. Every single week, I block off time to work on my future self, my future company, versus the day-to-day. We get so busy and caught up in the day-to-day. And last week, it led to opportunities in Australia and in Asia for me that never honestly would have came about if I didn't have that commitment to working on my future self every day. All right. Okay. So today, make your future bigger than your past, the power of breakthrough questions. I've got 8 questions actually. So get your pen, paper. You're going to want to watch the recording. You're going to want to invest at least 20 minutes after this show to diving into these questions, because I'm going to go through them really quickly. Question 1. What are you most proud of accomplishing in the last 18 months? 1 personal and 1 professional. What are you most proud of accomplishing in the last 18 months? Okay, again, looking back to our past, celebrating our past is really, really important. You know, it's giving some energy in fertile soil. Question 2, what is 1 personal and 1 business goal you want to be celebrating in 18 months? Let's change the time frame. Everybody uses a year. I like using 90 days, but what is 1 personal and 1 business goal you want to be celebrating in 18 months? Okay, get clear on that. Question 3. If there was $100,000 bonus, if you got those 2 goals, what would you do to commit to doing to achieving those goals in the next 6 months? So let me rephrase that. Those 2 goals that you wrote down for 18 months, hey, you're a high achiever. You're here. You're spending Monday morning with me. What would you do differently to achieve those goals in 6 months? If there's a $100,000 bonus on the line, you would figure it out. So let's shorten the game. 18 months, let's make it 6. Number 4, based on your answer to number 3, what would you do differently in the next 30 minutes, the rest of this week? What would you do differently based on what you answered number 3 in the next 30 minutes, the rest of today and the rest of this week? Question 5. What is the cost of not taking action? What is the cost of not taking action? What would your life look like in 18 months if you decided not to make any changes? If you decided, hey, that was a great question, Sean, but I'm just going to go back and check my Instagram and scroll and do all these emails and go to all these BS time-wasting meetings. What would it cost you? That's actually what moves us into action quicker, is not to go to where we want to go, is the cost or the fear of what would happen if we didn't make those changes. So that's question 5. Number 6, how will you need to think differently to achieve your vision? How will you need to think differently? Hey, I need to think much bigger than the day-to-day, right? If you just want to increase by 10 or 20%, that's where your mind will go. That's why I love the 10X thinking is, hey, how do you 10X? Well, it instantly gets your brain to think in systems and things differently. Okay. Number 7, what is the 1 daily habit or routine, if you fully committed to doing it daily, would dramatically change your results? Make it simple. Make it simple. And question 8, who is that 1 person that you want on your team that can help support your vision? Call them today. Write down their name and call them today. Okay. So those are 8 questions. You're definitely going to want to watch at least the highlight reel that I release in about 2 hours from now of today. And please, I encourage you to invest time in you today, a minimum of 30 minutes. on really answering these questions. So today's theme was make your future bigger than your past, the power of breakthrough questions. I love the quote from Peter Drucker, the best way to predict the future is to create it. So here are these 8 questions. Please pause this video. Just make sure my face is not like frozen like that when you pause. Question number 1, what are you most proud of accomplishing in the last 18 months? 1 personal, 1 professional. Question 2, what is 1 personal and 1 business goal you want to be celebrating in 18 months? Question 3, what would you need to commit to doing differently to achieve the answer to question 2 in 6 months and not 18 months? If you had a $100,000 bonus, if you got those 18-month goals done in 6 months, what would you commit to doing differently? Question 4, based on your answer number 3, what would you differently in the next 30 minutes? Today and this week? Like, let's shorten the game even more. What would you do differently after you watch this video and the rest of today and tomorrow to move you closer? Question 5, what is the cost of not taking action? What would your life look like in 18 months if you decided not to do any of these things? Because the honest truth is we move away from the cost or the fear more than we move towards the pleasure. Question 6, how do you need to think differently to achieve this new vision? You're going to have to think and act differently. So how are you going to have to think differently? Probably a little bigger goals, right? Question 7, what is the 1 daily habit or routine, if you fully committed to doing, would dramatically change your results? What is that 1 ridiculously small routine or habit, if you fully committed to, would change everything? Mine was 25 minutes every day, tech-free, work on my future self. That's the 1 ridiculously small habit that has had dramatic results and led to some pretty big opportunities last week. And number 8, who is that 1 person that you need on your team to support your vision? Write down their name and, more importantly, call them today, because nobody can do it alone. Life is a team sport. As always, write down your 1 insight, your 1 action step from today. I really strongly encourage you to not just tune off and go back to regularly scheduled activities, because regularly scheduled activities will give you the same results that you've had before. Invest some time in you today, bet on yourself, and answer these questions. Looking forward to your comments, your 1 insight, your 1 action step. And hey, have a phenomenal week. And really take these to heart. And I love for your future selves to go back and go, hey, you know what? June 23rd was the day that it all started for me when I watched that crazy Sean Shepard on LinkedIn Live. Have a phenomenal week. Same time, same place next week. Bye for now. It's Sean Shepard.